Hey guys, and welcome back to another Friday.
It's Friday nights in the cigar lounge. You know what that means.
Hey, what's
What?
my line?
Yeah, you can say it.
We're not starting the fun.
You know what that means.
Alright.
Time to smoke a cigar.
Alright.
You gotta turn it on.
It is on.
Is it?
It is. It's on.
Why are none of the lights on?
It's blue, it's
I'm
on.
just kidding. Haha.
It's on.
So we had a pop in.
Yeah, we did.
We don't mind. We don't mind. I'm not gonna say the pop in.
Yeah.
When our friend comes over and has a few drinks and just like talks after a month or so of not seeing each other, it's okay.
Yes. It is. As long as it's not all the time.
As long as it's not every day.
Yeah, so today was okay.
Today was good. So we're starting the podcast a little later than usual.
Yeah.
It is now officially 6:11 p.m. So it is Friday night in the cigar lounge. Where you going?
Ow!
She's like, I didn't hit record.
I might have to restart this.
Oh
Because I
Lord.
wanted to do it with a do not disturb. So if my mom calls, it doesn't like go out.
Bye.
You ready?
I'm ready. Whenever you are.
It's Friday, so you know what that means. Friday nights in the cigar lounge. And today's episode, we are going to be discussing TV shows from when we were kids and how they have changed over the years, and they're different from the TV shows that kids are watching now and people are watching now.
Basically how everything now sucks. And the shows we grew up on were better.
So before we jump in, do you want to share with everybody what you're going to be smoking tonight?
Tonight I am smoking a big boy. It's not the name. It's actually a very... I think it's not the Churchill. The Churchill is actually an inch shorter. I think it's I don't even know if it's like a Presidente or whatever. I've heard that before. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, because it's longer?
It's longer than a Churchill. A Churchill is, I think, 7 inches, and I think this is 8. That's what she said.
Oh, Lord.
But it's the Punch Classico, and as you can see, it is very long.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So I'll be smoking that. I think I have had one before, but I don't remember it, so I'll document it today. And I'm actually going to time this one, because I've never done that before.
Are you going to time how long?
I'm going to time how long it takes to smoke it. And I have this very cool cigar punch that it also is a... once you get towards the end, you could it's a cigar like holder, so you could smoke it till the very last bit, so you're not burning your fingers. It's by Select Draw. That's fine. There'll be pictures, if you want to see it better, it'll be on Instagram. And then it's got these 3 prongs. So when you punch it one way, then you keep going around. So it's got just a bunch of little holes in it, so you're not cutting out the whole end of the cigar and getting all the tobacco in your mouth. But yeah, it's by Select Draw. I got it on Amazon. It's actually pretty neat and pretty cool. It comes in this color and like chrome or silver color. And yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could cut your cigar that me and the guy at work were talking about today, because he thought it was just, you cut it normal. Kind of like there's a punch cigar where you could actually take this little, I have one, I should have brought them all out, but you take this little just like circle and you like swirl your cigar or your lighter around, and then the punch is a perfect hole in the center. I was actually reading up on it not too long ago that there's actually a reason or a type of cigar you're supposed to smoke with each different cut, or so you get more flavor from certain ones, or if you're a beginner cigar smoker, you shouldn't do the punch because the smoke is directed all towards like through one hole, and you get like the full blunt of the flavor. If you're trying to you're trying to figure out your palate, which I'm trying to do, so I probably shouldn't be doing this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do your palate, they said it's better to do the regular guillotine cut, which is the full, just cutting off the tip of it, or cutting off, just slicing off the side of it. There's the V cut, which my brother-in-law calls something else, but I don't want to say it.
No, I'm not going there.
So it's the V cut that obviously if I hold my cigar up like this, you could see the edge, it'll look like it's a V, which is, so for some certain cigars I smoke, I'll cut different ones. Obviously if I have a smaller cigar, I'll either cut it or punch it, but when I have a bigger cigar, I'll either do this select draw, the 3 prongs all the way around, or the V cut. And like a Lancero, those long skinny ones, people say just to snip them, but I like doing the tiny punch because it gets you a better draw on some of them. So it all depends on the person, what you're smoking, and basically your own preference on what you want to do with your cigars. I'm sure there might be more to it, but I'm learning. But yeah, so I said it, I'm smoking a Punch Classico, and I'm drinking, unfortunately not my cherry energy Coke, because the local establishment was all out of them. Where I get them, they're like $1.25, so if I bought them at the other store in town, they're like $2.50, and I just couldn't do it. So I bought just the regular Coke Energy, and I'll be mixing that with with the PBR whiskey, what I've been doing all podcast long. But enough for ranting about this. Let's get to the podcast.
Alright, so this week we are talking about TV shows and how they have changed over the years. And before we started the podcast, we sat down and kind of wrote a list of some shows we watched as kids and some things that we feel like have changed over the years. So we'll start, because there's like Disney has changed over the years, MTV has changed over the years. There are some old time shows that I grew up on that you really don't see people watching now. And I think it's just kind of those things you watched while growing up that I think kids and teenagers and stuff now, like they don't watch those type of things because the stuff on TV is so much different. So we were talking about like kid shows, and like when we were growing up, we watched Rugrats, was one of my favorites, and Cat Dog,
Angry Beavers,
Ed, and Eddie, Dexter's Laboratory, Fairly Odd Parents, The Powerpuff Girls,
Danny Phantom. But there's a lot of shows that I grew up on watching that were like from my parents' generation because they watched them growing up, so they like showed them to us. So I watched like shows like Collect Cargo, which if anyone listening knows that name, it's the one where they got very limited animation, but their mouths are like real mouths superimposed into the drawings. So if you know the name, you know the show. And there's the Hanna-Barbera, you know, the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Top Cat, Wacky Races, all those older cartoons that our parents grew up on. And then just old TV shows in general, like you were saying, the Golden Girls that you used to watch. We used to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show, Mary Tyler Moore Show, the 1960s Batman TV series with Adam West.
All like the Disney originals too, like Lizzie McGuire and...
That was definitely our generation. Kids these days don't have anything, like, I think we're a little biased because it's from our generation, but I don't think anything on Disney Channel even compares to that kind of stuff. Like Even Stevens, the Jersey, you remember that one?
No.
The Jersey was where they put on this old jersey and they like are transported back in time into the player.
Oh no.
You never heard of the Jersey? That was a good show.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
So Weird.
Oh yeah, I think
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Even like Goosebumps is our kind of generation.
And then we even got into like MTV. MTV shows.
MTV is 100% 90s to early 2000s craze.
Yeah, it was Next and
Pimp My Ride.
Pimp My Ride.
Viva La Bam, Jackass.
What was it? The MTV
Cribs. There were a lot of those shows.
There were just things. I was even talking about how MTV had the videos in the mornings.
They were actually music video television.
Yeah, like there was
MTV.
music video that we would listen to getting ready in the morning, and they don't even have that anymore.
Yeah, every morning or even after school, it was you'd listen to the top 20 music videos of the day. That was what MTV was about, actual music, not these. I don't even know what they have on now.
They don't. They don't have. I don't
No, I'm saying I don't even know what shows like they still do. This reality TV.
Like I've watched, of course, I've watched like the Jersey Shore on MTV, and there's just like the shows that I feel like they have now on MTV wise. It's just a lot of just like drama shows, and it's stuff where people are fighting and they're not getting along, or people are dating, or people are just getting drunk. And when we were growing up, like MTV shows were just like, they were silly. They were just things that were just like, you watched and they made you laugh. And nowadays it's just all kind of just drama and partying and kind of stupid.
I don't even know what's on MTV nowadays.
We don't watch.
We don't have cable.
We don't have cable, so I don't really know what's really on MTV anymore. But that's why we were even talking about Disney Channel, because when we were growing up, I feel like all these shows were so good, and they were just, That's So Raven and the Even Stevens and Lizzie McGuire, they were like almost shows that like taught you lessons. Like, if you do this and you do this, like there's a consequence, or you do this and this and you're nice to somebody, there's like you get this. And like nowadays I really haven't sat down and watched like any Disney shows, but I don't really think they're like the same as when we were growing up as kids. It's just more like, here's something we've thrown together that we think you would think is cool to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's on Disney. Like, we don't watch, obviously, like, we're not in that
Yeah.
watching Disney Channel anymore. It's all about the news and.
I mean, even, I want to say, even like little kid shows because.
Well, I grew up when I was a little kid, not a little kid, but like when I was young enough, Baby Einstein,
Yeah.
which is still a big thing
Right.
now, but the original Baby Einstein was where it was at.
Yeah.
Like the Baby Einstein nowadays is all computer animated, and there's a little guy, a little
Yeah.
Einstein scientist guy walking around. That's not the Baby Einstein I grew up on.
Well, I thought it was funny too, because when my sister came in,
Not to cut you off, but for the video, I just want
yeah.
to note that, I mean, Supernatural was a show for me growing up. It started in my sophomore year of high school,
Yeah.
and it was a show that I started watching with my mom. But 2 years ago, they had a Scooby-Doo episode, so I got my Scooby Natural TV show shirt on. So Scooby-Doo, Sandine, Castiel, and the gang. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so my sister came in with her boyfriend and their kids, and they just put shows on for them to watch, and just watching their shows compared to what we watched, it was just like day and night. It's just like,
It's like, this is what kids watch
Yeah.
these days?
like they were watching a show that
This isn't even funny.
the characters weren't even talking. It was more like you were just
They were basically like minions.
Yeah, they were like minions, and you were just kind of going off the episode of what like was going on, and it's just
Weird.
weird. I feel like our generation. I'm gonna be 26, and he'll be 29.
35.
No, you're not. I think he's 29.
They don't even know my age. No.
But when we were younger in like the 90s, like it was almost the best time for like television, like cartoons and MTV and Disney Channel. And I feel like along the way through the years, they've almost tried to keep up with it, and it hasn't really been the same. And no matter how hard they try, it's just like, that's why they keep doing like all these reboots. Recently, Zoe 101,
Oh, jeez.
Zoe
jeez.
101 is doing a reboot.
Zoe 101 is
Yeah.
doing a reboot? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they're doing a reboot. Like,
Drake and Josh?
like all of these shows are trying to do, what Lizzie McGuire is doing a reboot because they're trying.
Well, even like That's So Raven, she did the Raven's Home, or
Yeah, they're trying to do like
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Girl Meets World, where
Yeah.
they're the parents and the kid is
Their
they're just
daughter.
trying to like recreate what we grew up on, and it's not as good.
No, it's not the same.
I don't know if kids maybe think it is. Maybe we'll get not that we're gonna get their opinion.
Yeah.
But if anyone else has the opinion similar to us, let us know, because we want to know. Do you think these shows are as good as the originals? I mean, I don't see how they are.
I mean, I think we were talking about like growing up, we had like Power Rangers, and they're not that big of a thing. I mean, they came out with a new movie and
Power
everything.
Rangers is a big. They got all their. Well, I mean, we started off with the original Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And then it was Power Rangers Ninjas,
Yeah.
Power Ranger Dino Shadow.
Yeah.
All the I don't even. None of those names are correct because I don't know, because I don't watch them.
Yeah.
I just watch the original Power Rangers. I watched the original Power Ranger movie with, I would say Mr. Freeze, but that's Batman.
Yeah, that's Batman.
But the ooze guy, the purple ooze.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That purple ooze guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but I got it on DVD.
Yeah. Well, you were even saying Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, Pokemon.
Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon's still going now, but the original Pokemon was
Right.
where it was at. The original 151, if you count Mewtwo and Mew.
Yeah.
151 Pokemon. The original 151 Pokemon was the best. I mean, the Pokemon video games are still fun to play,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, the show, when I watched the Pokemon TV show, it was Ash Ketchum going out into the, I don't even know, was it the Indigo League?
Don't ask me.
Get your 8 badges from the gym. Oh, hello.
Sorry, we're distracted because the squirrel is walking into
He's
the garage. 'cause
literally-
he thinks we're like going to give him peanuts and we don't have them.
He's literally like,
Yeah, totally excited. Interrupted by this.
but yeah, Ash Ketchum walks with Pikachu, goes to his 8 badges, goes to the Elite Four. I don't even know. I don't even know what it's called
another
anymore.
thing we wrote down is Celebrity Deathmatch.
I never started my watch.
Oh no.
I said I was gonna time my cigar. I never started, but I'm like 2 minutes into it, realistically.
We were recording this podcast for 2 minutes, so there's no way.
I just slid it up
Oh, okay.
not too long ago.
There's no way.
I should have started it earlier. This is like I'd say this is about an hour and a half cigar by the size,
Yeah.
so we'll be on here for a while. I'll start my timer now. What about
Celebrity Deathmatches?
Celebrity Deathmatch? Come on, people. Tell me you remember Celebrity Deathmatch. I believe that was on MTV.
It was, yes it was.
The one with Leonardo DiCaprio. Probably one of the best ones. There were so many of those good shows. For anyone that doesn't know Celebrity Deathmatch, it was claymation, like WWE wrestling, but very violent and bloody and like trying to just kill the other person. So they take anything they can, bash them, they shoot them through a fan, they shoot them up through the ceiling.
Yeah.
There's all these crazy things. I actually have the whole, mum's the word, I got the whole season on my hard drive. Not quite.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, let's talk about how even like when we were teenagers, we used to like download music onto like our MP3s and stuff, like what was it, illegally?
Illegally?
Or
You used to download the video, you used to go
what was it on? iTunes. LimeWire. Kids don't even know how to do that.
LimeWire,
Oh
you'd
my
either download it
gosh.
on LimeWire and get like 50 viruses,
Yeah.
or you would go to YouTube, rip it off of YouTube
Yeah.
through the converter to put it on your iPod.
Yes.
I think we discussed this in the technology.
We might have.
See, it crossed
That's like another thing.
our podcast crossed.
Kids will never know
Crosses,
having to
I
like
don't know what I'm
hold
trying
your
to say.
phone up and like try to like record music so it could be your ringtone. Oh my gosh.
Just imagine what our kids will be saying 20 years from now when we're the ones on the phones, like doing what we do now, but they're like, that was so 20 years ago.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like I can't even imagine like what TV shows are going to be like when we have kids, or like what things.
There won't even be TV shows.
I'm just saying like what like kind of things will we be turning on for our kids to watch?
All the shows we watched, just like my
Yeah.
parents did with us. I mean, we watched like I was talking with the guy at work, Jeremiah. We said his name plenty of times, so you guys can know.
Yeah.
He's one of our biggest followers, so we'll say his name, Jeremiah. We watched Barney. I watched Barney. You didn't grow up on it, maybe. You were a little too old for that, but I watched it,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry. And we talked about Roly Poly Oly at work.
Oh my gosh, Roly Poly Oly.
Jeremiah was actually singing the song
Out of the box.
Out of the Box.
Out of the box. Oh my gosh, I love that one.
Mickey's House of Mouse. Have you ever seen that one on Disney Channel? But yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty sure Roly, like we were talking at work. I'm pretty sure Roly Poly Oly is still like a thing today.
I don't know.
I think it's still a show today, but like we grew up on the original. There was a good Halloween episode that I always liked,
Oh my gosh, Roly Poly Oly.
and then Caillou,
Caillou.
Clifford, the big red dog. You're like, she's gonna cry.
These are all the things, because these are like things that you just like, you don't see anymore, and it's like kind of upsetting.
Martha Speaks.
Yeah, I don't know about
That's a newer show that I only know about it because my mom used to babysit. So we used to watch these types of shows for the kids. And it was about a dog. It was just about a dog. That, I don't know if she spoke. I don't actually remember it, but it was called Martha Speaks. She may have talked, but yeah, anyways. It wasn't one of those better shows like we grew up on. The squirrel is staring us down as he eats his peanuts.
And we are going to take a short break and be right back.
Short break in the video, not in the video, in the
No.
podcast.
Video.
You get it all,
We'll get a short break.
whether you like it or not.
Alright, ready?
Always ready.
And we're back. So that's why I wanted to talk about just TV shows and stuff growing up and how they're different from now. Because they are. Like, I feel like we definitely grew up with like the good shows, and I can truly say that the one show I think that anybody who's around our age that grew up watching it, Courage the Cowardly Dog, was not a good kid show for kids.
But it was. You could say that about any of those shows.
Oh, yeah. Ed, and Eddie, where were their parents? There were never any parents in that show.
There's never any, when the parents talk in the peanuts, they go wah, 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 wah.
Oh my gosh, what was that show?
There's so many good shows.
What was the show with the chicken and the cow, but their parents were humans? You know what I'm talking about? Cow and chicken?
Cow and chicken.
But their parents were humans.
Cow and chicken. I mean, there were the
So funny.
there were the shows that came on Cartoon Network after dark.
Oh, yeah.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen that. Have you seen that?
With the french fries?
The French fries and the shake
Yeah.
and the burger or the meatball.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
What was his name? Me and Jeremiah and another coworker were talking about it. She said she went and saw them, like the guys that did it live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's so funny. I
Remember?
forgot about that one.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, because there were shows that came on after like the kids were
Space
supposed to be
Ghost.
sleeping. Yeah.
There's a lot of those shows.
I mean, there are good
Metalocalypse.
What's that?
It was about like a heavy metal band. It was after Aqua. I think it was after Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I mean, there are good shows now, like Rick and Morty.
But it's not for kids.
Yeah, Rick and Morty is definitely not for kids.
Like there's good cartoons nowadays that are not meant for kids.
And I definitely think Jeremiah was somebody that we were like having a conversation. He was saying that his kids wanted to watch Rick and Morty, and he was like, "You've seen that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Jeremiah, that's not something you should watch with your children." Like,
Then he actually said his kids were watching it. He's like, I don't think this is something you should be
yeah,
watching.
I think he said he walked by and he like heard something. He was like, I don't think this is something that you should be watching. He's like, and then I sat down and was watching it. I'm like, this is definitely not something children should be watching. Like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, people like the Adventure Time. Like it's for kids. Chowder, the little purple hair, fluffy hair guy. Those might even be out of date now.
Adventure Time, yeah.
Adventure Time, Chowder, the regular show with the blue jay and the squirrel.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you ever watch, I don't know why I'm thinking of this now, The one with the imaginary friends, but it was
Foster Home for Imaginary
Yes.
Friends. I thought I said that one earlier.
Yeah, that one was so funny. With
Blue.
Blue.
I used to, almost dropped it again. Yeah. I used to have that shirt. It was all the characters. It was a blue shirt, and it was like from head. It was like I don't know what they call it, but all the characters like synced up, and they made like one big, not one big picture, but it just looked like it was all the characters on my shirt, like a million, maybe not a million, but my whole shirt was covered in characters, and it was all the characters from the show. It was pretty cool. Long story short.
Yeah. So, growing up, what was one of your favorite shows?
Like, let's start with cartoons.
Yes. Like, what was your favorite cartoon?
My favorite cartoon growing up. I don't know, there were so many.
Okay, so then pick a few. Like, what was some of the ones that you liked?
Disney's House of Mouse was probably like one that I could remember because I always would get the VHS tape and I would try recording them, and then I would take the covers of the VHS, like the cardboard covers that came with, and I put a white paper over it, then draw Mickey Mouse and all the people on it, and then on the side I draw Mickey and House of Mouse like episode, and I try to make it like really cool, like my own thing. That's actually what I want to do. Is like we still have a VHS, so I want to record all the old Spongebob, not the old ones, the new ones he's doing. I want to record them on VHS and then do that. That'd be pretty cool.
Now, just to make sure I'm getting this right, those were the ones where they went in and then like all the characters were there and he told stories, right?
Yeah, so
That's
you
what I
go
thought it
into the
was,
House
yeah.
of Mouse and all the Disney characters, like even the villains,
That's what I thought.
were sitting at like it was like a club,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
like a lounge or a comedy club,
Yeah.
and Mickey would go up and talk and tell
That's
us
what I
different
thought.
stories. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
that's
it
the one.
was,
That's the
yeah.
one I like. I mean, I obviously liked Barney as a really young kid.
Okay, let's be for real. Anybody around our age that grew up when we were kids grew up with Barney.
Well, like me and Jeremiah were talking about, it was either Barney or Teletubbies.
Teletubbies!
I was not a Teletubbies
Oh my
person.
gosh, I loved
No.
Teletubbies.
No. The purple one was, what?
What's wrong with the purple one?
Nothing was wrong with the purple one.
I love the Teletubbies. They were
That's
so
okay.
cute.
You could love the
With the little,
Teletubbies,
like,
but that was...
vacuum dog. Oh my god.
I never grew up on Teletubbies, and I never watched them. My parents didn't show it to us. We never watched the Teletubbies. But like Looney Tunes,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Roadrunner, Tom and Jerry, Sylvester and Tweety.
So are these like some of your favorites?
No, I'm just still naming
We're
stuff.
just still naming stuff. I could say that one of my, I guess, something that I could watch all the time and like watch them on repeat was Fairly Odd Parents. Like,
Parents,
I just like that and Dexter's Laboratory. I could have sat and just like watched those on like repeat all the time.
I would just say probably growing up, I think Rugrats was
Yeah,
probably one of my
definitely.
favorites. So we had all the Christmas episodes, the Halloween episodes. We had them on VHS. We would always watch those. Reptar, come on. Another thing we didn't bring up in the dinosaurs episode.
Oh, Reptar, yeah.
But Rugrats was probably one of the better ones. Doug and Skeeter.
Hey Arnold!
Hey, there's a lot. See,
Hey Arnold!
we didn't really think about this too much.
No, we didn't. Oh my
Move
God.
it, football head.
Move it, football head. Oh my God.
That's not okay though in today's world. You can't call someone a football head.
So funny.
My cousin Skeeter. Did you ever see that?
No.
The little puppet.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, that was a good show.
Never saw
My
that.
Cousin Skeeter. He was a puppet, but he was the only puppet in this live action show called My Cousin Skeeter.
Really?
Someone has to know about it. Come on, show me a little love for My Cousin Skeeter.
No, I didn't know. I don't know.
I gotta
what
pull
it was
this up
about.
right now. He's an African American puppet.
And he was, wait, it was live action, he was the only one that was a puppet?
Yeah.
That's weird. What the heck?
My Cousin Skeeter.
Why is he a puppet though? I don't get it.
And maybe it wasn't it was called Cousin Skeeter.
That's weird.
I thought it was My Cousin, but whatever.
Hmm.
I was young when I watched it.
That's weird.
Cousin Skeeter, 98 to 2001 on Nickelodeon.
I
But-
don't even remember that.
But that's not animation, so that's live action, I would say, because it's a live puppet too. I mean, someone was controlling it. So our favorite cartoons, I would say Rugrats, Scooby-Doo, and I like the old Hanna-Barbera. I love the Jetsons, the Flintstones, Wacky Races, Top Cat. I like those.
The one you said about the never mind.
The what?
The barbarian one, what's it?
The Barbarian one.
There was a show that maybe it was on Disney. There was like a barbarian guy.
What are you talking about? Give me more than this.
I can't. Never mind. I can't think of it.
A barbarian guy.
Forget it.
No, I want to know now.
I think it was like a cartoon. There was like something the barbarian or something. I don't know.
It sounds something the barbarian.
And then there was like another show too now that I'm thinking with like
I know
a
what you're.
cat and a bunny.
I know what you're saying about the barbarian. Something. I'm gonna Google something the barbarian.
Because I think it might have been on Disney.
I know what you're talking about.
And it was like so funny.
Dave the Barbarian.
Dave the Barbarian.
I literally
Oh my
Googled
God.
something the barbarian, and Dave the Barbarian came up.
Dave the Barbarian. Oh my gosh. Now look up the one with, I think it's a bunny and a cat.
What about American Dragon, Jake Long?
Oh my
And,
god.
Jackie Chan.
So let's go to Disney.
Bunny. And what?
I think it was a bunny and a cat. And they were like lost in the forest.
Nothing's coming up. If you gave me something like something barbarian, I could make that work. No.
I swear that's what the two characters were.
A bunny and a cat.
Yeah.
Bunny and a cat lost in a forest.
Like they were in a plane and then it like went down and then she was like trapped in this forest with this bunny and it like annoyed her. Oh no. I don't know.
I don't know either. On the Disney Channel?
I thought it was on Disney.
Yeah, I know what it is.
What is it?
You ready? You're gonna be like, oh my god.
Was it a cat and a bunny?
It's a girl. It's a girl cat and a male bunny.
Yes.
And it's called Disney's Brandy and Mr. Whiskers.
Brandy and Mr. Whiskers! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, now that I see the name and the picture, that is 100% exactly what I remember.
Yes! Oh my gosh! I loved that show. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. That's why I was like, I know it was like a cat and there was a bunny. And they were like trapped in the wilderness and she was like all like uptight and everything and he was like kind of like ditzy and like dumb. And like
The kooky one.
yeah, and oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that show, I remember that show. I mean, even like another one that my parents my dad probably and my mom watched, but that I grew up watching because they did the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
And not the live action version, but the cartoon with the actual Pink Panther where he starts the little guy inspector is painting or like looking through his little magnifying glass at his paw prints and then he starts painting over them, stuff like that. They don't make shows like these nowadays.
No, they don't.
They might. I think they had a new Pink Panther show, but come on, it can't beat the originals. I can't be the only one who thinks this.
Still can't believe that Brandon just scares. It's so funny. I don't even know what made me think of that one because I was just like trying to think of like TV shows and that like just came up. I was like, oh my gosh, there was one with this funny. Funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's funny, I won't even pick it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good shows that we don't even remember that we used to watch all the time.
Probably.
Just like that Brandy Mr. Wicker. Like, where did it come from?
I don't know why that one just like came up too. I'm just like thinking of shows. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was this one like Dave the Barbarian that just like. Because these are just like shows. That's why I said like, what's one of your favorite Disney? And I don't. Those two just like popped in my head.
Like Disney animation?
Anything Disney.
I always liked like growing up, we liked the Even Stevens. We liked those shows.
Two of my favorite, I think, shows.
Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire and Kim Possible. I love Kim Possible.
Kim Possible was good. The Naked Mole Rat. Ron and the Naked Mole Rat. Rufus.
Yeah.
Rufus, the Naked Mole Rat. I like Danny. I like Nickelodeon. I like Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh, yeah.
Drake and Josh. Then iCarly kind of spun off into her own thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a spin-off. It was supposed to be originally a spin-off. I think. I don't know. It may have, because it had the crazy guy from the theater as her brother.
Oh, yeah.
But Drake and Josh was my favorite, like, teen adult Nickelodeon show. Obviously watched Zoe 101 and stuff like that. Ned's Declassified Survival School Survival Guide. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Great.
It was hard to say.
That one was great.
But cartoons on Nickelodeon, I mean, well, let's get to the main one, SpongeBob. No one's mentioned SpongeBob yet.
Oh my gosh, SpongeBob.
I grew up on SpongeBob. I got a 4-foot SpongeBob in our basement right now. I'll show you pictures later, don't you worry.
SpongeBob was where it was at.
So I got this 4-foot SpongeBob. So I entered my name in a raffle at Target. I don't even know how long ago it was. And there was this big SpongeBob. He had to be about 3 feet wide by 4 feet tall. And I entered my name into a raffle, and then they called us that we won. And when we got there, they're like, "Oh, you won SpongeBob." And my parents were like, "No, we didn't." like we won this giant SpongeBob that when it was at my parents' house, it used to hold stuff up from the basement flooding, and now it's in my basement. I'll have to get a picture of it.
And the funny story
I actually have a picture of Bohannon on
yeah,
it.
the funny story behind that is when we
It has swimsuits. I don't think I had that. It may have been. Our basement, my parents' house, it flooded. The basement flooded, and he used to have a pair of swimsuits like Target. It had the white circle with the red shorts on it, and I think that got lost when everything flooded. But there was a square swimsuit that used to fit over this 4-foot by 3-foot SpongeBob unfortunately it was lost. I think I could get a good chunk of money for that.
And the funny thing is when we moved into our place out here in Wisconsin, we got moved in, and it was probably like a few months after we moved in. His parents were like, "Okay, SpongeBob can move in," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Oh, he's got this like SpongeBob doll." I'm like, I'm thinking this like tiny little thing. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Bring it down." And they bring this 4-foot SpongeBob that's like standing in my living room, and I'm just like, "What the heck?"
It's literally like this tall.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you
almost
can't
as
see it
tall
in the
as me.
podcast, but in the video, it's about a foot shorter than you, so it's about 4 feet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, guys.
I'll have to get pictures. It's pretty great.
It's ridiculous.
It'll be a thing I'll just hand down from generation to generation. It'll never die. I think right now it's wearing a Trumpinator
Yeah, I
button.
think it is too.
It's Donald Trump as the Terminator.
Yeah, and I think for a while we put Trump's hat on him because he was upstairs in our living room, and then he
We got
finally
pictures.
moved.
We got pictures of our little cat. He was when our cat was just a baby. He was on top of this giant SpongeBob,
He used to climb him all the time.
and then we finally put him in the basement. So we'll post those pictures, and so you can see that.
Yeah, that's where he stays, in the basement.
Maybe we'll move him to the cigar lounge. He can look good in the corner over there. Let us know. Do you want SpongeBob in the cigar lounge? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah.
Seriously, this is a poll. Let us know. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll move him out here if I get one vote that says yes. I'll move him out here.
What else is on besides SpongeBob? Like, I
On
don't-
Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
Fairly Odd Parents,
Oh, that's
Danny
fairly,
Phantom.
yeah, that's where Fairly Odd.
Nickelodeon was Rugrats. That was all
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. Doug.
Doug, yeah.
I think Doug was Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom was a great show where he did become a ghost. He was able to transform into a ghost,
Yep.
go into the Phantom Zone.
Yep.
I mean, most of the shows we talked about were, well, some of them were Cartoon Network, but
I mean, were there any shows?
Rocket Power.
I never watched that.
Rocket Power about the guys that like skateboard,
Yep, I never
go
watched
snowboarding
that.
in the winter, go on the ocean, doing their surfboard. I was like, why can't I think of it? A surfboard. Hitting episode. Another break. Are we hitting another 30 already?
Yeah, we weren't. So go ahead and just start off where we left off. I'm not
Okay.
going to do like a break in between those, like, because I don't have two separate messages, so.
Put the same message, can't you?
Yeah, I guess you could. But go ahead.
So Rocket Power. I used to have a game on the Game Boy Advance SP Rocket Power where Otto wakes up, or Otto, was it Otto or his dad? Otto is the guy with the little like red dreadlocks, and he in the video game I have, he's like fighting these aliens to take over the town, and everyone's controlled by them. And he like when you die in the game, he's like, man, I had a bad dream. I gotta stop eating spicy food before I go to bed. I'm like, no, you don't.
I don't know why you're talking about that. Made me think, what is that show about the family that they live in an RV and the little boy is like acts like a monkey and he's like crazy?
The Wild Thornberries.
The Wild Thornberries. And then
I think that was Nickelodeon.
And then another one that I thought of too was The Boy Genius.
Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron. Oh my gosh.
The best one was the movie was the best one. All the parents get abducted by the aliens, and then Carl is making the big ice cream cone like 20 feet high. Jimmy Neutron.
So funny. The more we like talk about like all these shows, the more just like all these shows just keep popping in my head.
That's the point.
So funny.
There's so many out there. There's, like I said, there's a lot that you don't even know that you've watched, but as you talk about them more, talk about certain shows, they bring back the other shows.
And I don't know why you talk about Rocket. That one made me think of the...
Because Jimmy Neutron?
No, the Thorntons.
Wild Thornberries.
Yeah.
It was Nickelodeon, so they're around the same time.
She's so funny.
And then Jimmy Neutron with his jetpack and the cyber dog. Not to be confused with the Cybertruck. Elon Musk.
No.
Got mine on pre-order. I do. I pre-ordered a Cybertruck, people. Just let you guys know. $100, why wouldn't you pre-order it? You don't have to commit to buying it. I pre-ordered it just in case it becomes like this hot commodity. Oh, Elon Musk. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah. I feel like we've gone through like so many different...
We've gone through so many, but there's so many we left out.
I know, there's like so many.
Alright, so we went to Disney. So what's your favorite? So you said Lizzie McGuire and Kim Possible are your favorite Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite Nickelodeon shows? My favorite were Spongebob and probably Drake and Josh were like my cartoon to a teenhood.
I loved SpongeBob. I think that was like one of the ones that I watched like all the time was SpongeBob. And Zoe 101. I loved Zoe 101.
I mean, there was like that.
There was another one that I loved to watch.
There were so many. There was like Pete and Pete.
Well, there was the one.
Clarissa.
No, there was the one where like it was like a show, but it had all like different like bits in it.
There's a lot of those.
But it had like the Amanda Show and
all that.
all that.
Keenan and Kel. That's
Yeah.
how they started. He was when I stopped watching Saturday Night Live, he was on Saturday Night Live. Keenan.
Yeah.
I think it was Keenan. Or it was Kel. I don't.
Yeah.
I always confuse the two. Good Burger.
Yeah.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order?
So funny.
There's so many shows and movie, like made for movie,
Right.
made for TV movies that are, I mean, all the Disney Channel original movies
Yes.
we grew up on, like Luck of the Irish, Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Like they don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't.
I don't know if they could get away with some of the stuff they do in those in today's type of world. And that's unfortunate because they're missing out on a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they were so good. Was there anything on MTV that you watched that like you liked to watch? Like you could turn it on and just like watch it.
I watched Viva La Bam.
Okay.
Viva La Bam, Wild Boys, Jackass. Jackass obviously was the original.
Right.
Then I think it went into Viva La Bam, where Bam Margera, he was a skateboarder with his house in Westchester, Pennsylvania. He did it to just his shenanigans with his friends, and his uncle, what was his name, Don?
Yeah.
Don Vito.
He used to mess with
Unfortunately,
my
he passed away.
Yes, he did.
But him, and then Steve-O and Chris Pontius, however you say his last name, they spun off into Wild Boys,
Yes.
which they actually did these adventures in the oceans and just the wild with the Manny was the guy with the long-haired guy, older guy. His name was, I think it was Manny. He was the one that was like the expert on the show. Like everyone wrote him off as like this stupid guy,
Right.
but he was actually the one that was keeping everyone safe throughout the whole show. So I like those. I always grew up, watching Cribs, just watching them go into their houses, Pimp My Ride.
And please do tell me there is somebody else out there that watched Next and all.
We watched Next.
Because there was another one that was like Next. But it was called something else too, and I just can't think of what it was called. But it was just. And if you're watching this and you don't, or listening, you don't know what next is. It was like five people
the tour
were
bus.
5 people on a tour. Like 5 girls on a tour bus, and there was one guy.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, and then each person would get off the tour bus, and
the person would be standing there, and as soon as someone gets off the tour bus, they'd be like, next. Like, just from the looks. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, guys.
And then,
or girls.
If you spent time with a person and
the real world.
Oh my god, the real world. But if you spent time with this person, you like added up money from like the minutes, and then at the end of the episode, you either chose to take the money or go on another date.
Go on another
and
date
it
or
was
take the money.
so funny when they would take the money.
Let's be honest, take the money.
Oh my gosh,
I feel,
the real
no
world.
offense, I just like looked at myself in the camera. I feel naked because I usually wear a hat. And I saw my hair sticking everywhere, so sorry for that.
Yeah, the real world too. Gosh. They just don't do TV like.
I mean, the real, like Jersey Shore, I never got into it, but my brothers liked it and you liked it. But it wasn't the same as like those types of shows.
It wasn't.
Like Viva, like their reality TV shows, so it's all about the person you're following. But I never felt that like Viva La Bam and Wild Boys was anywhere near the same as like Jersey Shore.
Yeah, no.
Like it didn't even compare. Like I'll watch Viva La Bam any day, but it might also be the type of personality because you like the skateboard type aspect and just the shenanigans they pull off versus the fist pumping at the clubs, sleeping with whoever they can.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's probably a personality type thing also, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that like the shows nowadays are anywhere near what they were before. And then like Boy Meets World, like that dealt with teenage sex, adolescent, like underage drinking. That dealt with a lot of hot topics that they might not portray nowadays because they think it's not right, but it's like that's what you need to portray because that's what kids are doing.
Right.
So you have to portray it as is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What will your parents say? What will your teachers say? What will your peers say to you? Like you need to portray it as this type of thing that it's like kids are going through this, but it's not like they're not showing it nowadays, so they don't know, is it okay to do this? Is it not okay to do it? Like, not to get serious in this podcast, but that's the type.
That's why I said, like, Lizzie McGuire, when you watch that, it's all
about being an adolescent and growing up.
Yeah, like, they did things that almost, like, when you watched like, I think, like, even Stevens and stuff, too, like, growing up with, like, brothers and sisters fighting and like they did things to each other that were harmful and like Lizzie McGuire was like that too with her little brother, like doing things about like with her best friends that were like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, but we're doing this, or I'm treating you wrong.
But at the end of the day, it's a moral lesson.
Yeah, there was always a lesson at the end of the episode that taught you like you shouldn't be treating your brother or sister like that, and they like would apologize to each other. Or like you shouldn't be treating your best friend like that, and they would apologize. Like there was always like a lesson.
I don't watch the shows nowadays, but I don't think the lesson is there.
Yeah, there was always just something behind the episode that I think as kids and preteens and the teenagers, you kind of like would watch this episode and maybe not like watching it you wouldn't think, but like I think mentally in the back of your mind it would sit there and you would learn something from these episodes that I don't think necessarily, like we don't watch them, that they're maybe not portraying it like they are. They were for us today. Like you said with Boy Meets World, there's things that they're just not doing because they just don't feel like
they can't portray alcohol. They can't show underage kids drinking alcohol. They can't show them having sex or thinking that they had sex. Like the one episode of Boy Meets World where Corey and Topanga fall asleep while they're recording their documentary or whatever, and all the people at the school think that they had sex together because they slept together. But at the end of this story, it's like you take it, like Corey is like, oh yeah, he doesn't say yeah we did it, but
Yeah.
he's like, he doesn't deny it, but it's like you take away this girl's voice basically.
Right.
And it's one of those things where at the end of it, it's like he confesses that it was nothing more than they just fell asleep, and
Right.
that there's an actual lesson to this, that this is not how you should portray this because it affects other people other than yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Boy Meets World was one of those.
It's one of those shows where you could watch it, and even now if I'll watch it, I could
Yeah.
still watch it now and still learn stuff from it.
Yeah.
It's like when Corey and Topanga got married,
Yep.
and then her parents are like, and Corey's like, oh, we're going to be living here. And he's like, his dad was like, no, you're not,
Yeah.
you're married. So they get a house on campus, and they're like struggling to live. And it's just, it shows you the honest, brute truth of the situation that shows, at least I feel shows nowadays don't show you that.
I mean, I think Boy Meets World too, like when they were planning on getting married and then her parents were getting a divorce because her dad cheated on her mom, and then Corey tries to get the parents back together, and they explain to him in the episode, like, we love each other, but we're not in love with each other. And that's one of those things that, like, today, when I think kids watch things, that's not, they don't want to portray those things because they just want kids to think, like, everything's okay and everything's good, but, like, those were the episodes that you watched, you were like you took something from that. And then I think in that episode, she decides that she still wants to marry Corey because, like, even though her parents went through a hard time, like, Corey and her love each other and they're in love, and just because, like, people are, like, her parents are in love and they fall in love, it doesn't mean, like, that's gonna happen to them because that's what she's scared
I think that was before they, like, were gonna get married. I think that was just when they were dating. She didn't want to be in the relationship with Corey because she didn't want to hurt Corey.
She didn't feel like
she didn't want to hurt Corey because she's like, what if one day I fall out of love with you? Like my parents did. It's like you can't think like that. You just gotta live in that moment, and if it happens, it happens. But that's the whole point of life. You live your life. You get your lessons. You live through your moments, and you just gotta go for it.
That's why I'm, like, not trying to, like, stay on one show, but that was one show that.
It's a Boy Meets World show.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one.
There's so many lessons in that show.
Yeah, there's so much in the whole, like, show that is just, like, you watch it and you're like, wow, like, it's so powerful. But that's why TV shows now, from when we were kids to now, it's just so different because I don't think that it's portrayed that way.
And I watched maybe the first episode of Girl Meets World, but I don't think they ever got as deep as they did in Boy Meets World. Like, do they ever portray any of this type of stuff? I don't know, because I've never watched it. So please, if you guys have watched Girl Meets World, compare it to Boy Meets World. Morgan was his sister. I don't even know what his daughter's name was. But what does she go through? Like, do they portray it the same as they did from the different generation? From 10 years ago, do they portray it the same as they do now? I don't think they're portraying the same type of stuff.
Or even Raven's Home. If you watch That's Raven and then you watch Raven's Home, is there
Corey in the house?
When
he's in the White House?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, because his dad's
a chef.
A chef, yeah. Is there just, like, stuff that you watched when you were a kid, and then you have kids now when you watch, and you can tell there's just a difference, and there's things that you just know is portrayed different? If you like the shows that are out now,
we're not saying it's
know.
wrong.
Yeah,
we're not saying
that the TV show is out, or
we just don't watch them, so we don't know. So we're asking you guys, if you guys watch them, if your kids watch them.
Yes.
Most likely if your kids watch them, because if you're watching our videos, it's probably not your kids watching our videos. So if your kids watch them, is there more of a moral story or a moral point to episodes, or is there anything in these episodes with a deeper meaning other than let's just entertain the kids?
Yeah. So I think as adults, when you watch things now that you used to watch as kids, you start to realize things and you start to see things and understand things that I don't think as kids that we understood. So when you watch your kids shows, preteen shows and stuff, is there meanings behind them that you're getting that you don't think that right away they're getting but might sit with them the older they get? Or like you said, is it just things that are just to entertain them for the moment?
Yeah.
So I feel like we've definitely
Covered
covered a lot. This was the longest episode we've ever done, guys.
Hopefully you guys actually listened to the whole thing.
I feel like some of it we were just like rambling and going on about.
I don't even know what I said.
Yeah, about all the different episodes. We just kept popping into our heads. So please share with us your opinion on TV shows when you were kids.
I guess we gotta end it at some point.
TV shows when you were kids, TV shows now. If you do have children, if you see the difference between what you used to watch and what they're watching, what are your guys' favorites from when you were growing up, from all the different type of networks?
I'm 45 minutes into my cigar and I'm only about halfway through it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's smooth. The Punch Classico. I think I had a I think I had a smaller one from my brother, and then I think I bought this one not too long ago. I don't have much to say about it, to be honest with you. It is very smooth so far. I don't detect too many flavors yet, but I haven't really been paying attention.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking my PBR whiskey and Coke, so for this last half of my cigar, I will try to focus on the flavors because we won't be on the screen anymore, so I'll focus on the cigar aspect of this.
Yeah.
And hopefully get a proper review out to you, because I've never done that.
He keeps saying he's going to do it, but he never does.
I'll get a proper review out to you guys on the Punch Classico.
Yeah, but do please share with us your guys' opinion. Like you said, hopefully you guys do listen to the whole episode. I feel like for a while we were just rambling off different titles and stuff.
That's what some people like.
But the more we were talking about it, the more different things started popping up in our heads. So, just like we say, always come over, leave comments on our YouTube, leave comments on Instagram, Twitter,
YouTube is, if you search Small Hype Big Insight on YouTube, that's the main page, but when you are typing, you could type in Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge, and 99% of the videos will be us.
Yes.
If you don't see us, then you're typing the wrong thing.
Or go over and I put it in the notes. If you guys don't know, there is notes, a little part where I do a description for every episode. So I always put then my name for Instagram and his name for Instagram. And also I do that on the YouTube channel as well. I also do a link for all the episodes on YouTube, so they can find the the Spotify or Anchor channel to listen to all the episodes as well.
And just a side note, we are looking at getting t-shirts made up.
Yeah.
So for at least, we're going to start Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge. We're going to get a t-shirt made up, and in the back it's going to say, grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge, my saying.
Yeah.
And then she's going to look into Small Hype Big Insight t-shirts with
good things come in small
good
packages.
things come in small packages. So we're actually looking at getting these types of t-shirts made up, kind of promoting our podcast, our
And
Instagrams.
these also are the things that if we have guests that we do videos with, or phone calls with, or if somebody comes over to sit with us and record, that we're going to give them a t-shirt, or if somebody just does a one-on-one with me for my Small Height, Big Insight podcast episodes and want to talk to me, then I could send you a t-shirt and little
and we might do, because I'm also looking at getting little stickers made up. So just like little things, you put on your computer, or you just hang up, like they get to have at the bar, like your distillery stickers, like things that just say the name. We'll get those made up. If you're interested in getting those for free, I'm throwing this out there right now. If you're interested in getting them for free, email us. We'll give you guys links to our email, or our, not links to it, just our email, so you could email us if you want a free sticker or things like that. Just send us a request, and we're looking to get our name out there, just kind of like we said, self-promote ourselves. So if we're going to get those out to you if you request them, and hopefully by giving you guys that, it'll promote us and get us into a bigger audience.
And that's why I said if anybody out there wants to be a part of our podcast, either on Friday nights or do a personal one-on-one with me on a topic that I've talked about, or a topic that you want to talk about, I'm open to doing it. And once we do get maybe the stickers or the t-shirts, I am totally up to sending you one, so then you can...
We'll even do a giveaway type thing, where the first 10 people that comment, then they get a free t-shirt or something.
Or maybe at our 100th episode or something like that, we can do a little giveaway with like a t-shirt and a sticker, maybe a cigar, and throw some type of stuff like that in. So just to get us out there and promote us. And
yeah, even people like if you follow me on Instagram, if you're a cigar smoker, if you're interested in, I've always said that I'm in. Are we getting there at the end?
Yeah, sorry.
We're getting near the end. So if I want to do a quick, I'm looking at doing like on location cigar lounge type experiences where we record our podcast interviewing people we go to. So like there's I haven't discussed it with him yet, but there's someone who owns a cigar lounge close to us that I'm going to talk to, that if we could interview him for a little bit and then have him on our podcast and do things like that, where we'll eventually we would give him a t-shirt and memorabilia that'll promote us, but things like that where we do like interviews with certain people.
What y'all doing?
And that's all I got.
that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Alright.
You want to pause it? Yeah. You want to pause the video?
So we took a little break. Someone had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was bad. I was holding it for at least 10 minutes, and towards the end of that first part of the video, you probably see me start dancing a little bit in my chair, maybe moving around more than usual, just because I had to go, guys. I had to go.
Our longest episode we've ever done.
Did you start this?
No.
Oh, yeah. This was definitely our longest episode. And I could have gone on a lot longer, just rambling on about shows, and like we said, there's still so many that we probably don't even know that we've watched. I'm still smoking my cigar.
What are we?
I'm at 1 hour and 6 minutes.
What are we going to talk about next week?
Leave it up to the audience.
Okay, so on Friday we're gonna wait for people to watch it, and then hopefully someone.
Yeah. Come on, guys. What do you want to hear us talk about?
Well, that's fine. They can choose what they want us to hear us talk about. We still gotta pick what we're gonna talk about next week.
I don't know.
I picked the last few ones, so you come up with one.
The last few ones were picked just from talking.
But still, I still picked them.
You didn't pick the one before this.
Okay, so
I don't know.
stop playing with your lighter and think of something.
Could just do a current events.
Or like an update.
Yeah, a big current events, quick episode. Are they going to start making us wear masks in Wisconsin? Who knows? We'll let you know next week on the podcast in the Cigar Lounge.
When did we do that? Like,
It was like the second week. It was a long. We'll do a current events update. So
Yeah,
every
that's
time we
fair.
don't have a topic, we'll do. I'm talking to you guys directly until you give us some ideas of things to talk about. Jeremiah. We'll talk about just current events, what happened in the week that we have lived since you last heard from us.
yeah, we did that 5/29.
So we
So
did
about
that
a
in
month
May.
ago.
We did that May 29th, June. It's almost mid-July already.
Yeah, so it's
So a month and a half. A month and a half ago we did current events. So I think next week we'll just do current events. What we've done in the last month.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. That's what I'm saying. But then we can start jotting down things that we would want to do as topics so we can. Alright. Want to get out that little thing?
What little thing?
Your thing on the phone? Can you put that back in your case so you don't break it?
Surprisingly, it has not
Wow.
broken. How many times did I drop this in today only and it has not broken?
Oh my goodness.
It's not even in a case. This thing is shatterproof. iPhone XS. Shatterproof. Don't take my word for that though.
Do not take his word for that.
Buy a case. Oh Lord. What am I looking for?
I also would like to add too that if you decide to do a Friday night in the Cigar Lounge with us or do a one-on-one with me for my personal podcast episodes, it is also a way to help promote you guys as well. And I think another cool thing that we could start doing is that the people that are we do as guests or people that have another podcast themselves or YouTube or like I said, bloggers and stuff, we could start adding your guys' like names to the shirts, maybe, like on the sleeves or the backs or something.
And we add them to our, just like our friend Jeremiah, he's a photographer, so adding his page and stuff like that, we could help promote you by promoting ourselves.
Yes.
So we'll Friday nights in the Cigar Lounge featuring Wisconsin Life. Is that how,
I think so.
I don't know how to say it, Jeremiah. So
Yeah.
tell us how to say it.
And I'm saying that could be a way to do that, and then if the t-shirts and stuff are a hit, then we could also start doing stuff like that. Or if we know a show is coming up where we're gonna do it with somebody, we could make a special T-shirt for you guys that says
Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge
featuring whoever's gonna be on, our Small Height Big Insight featuring who's ever gonna be on with me, just so we can start promoting each other and helping each other get out there.
Grow.
Huh?
Helping each
Yeah,
other
helping
grow.
each other grow, because I think as podcasters or YouTubers or bloggers or any type of business or thing that you do, it can sometimes be hard to promote yourself and get yourself out there. So I think if you can help each other, support each other, and promote each other and help each other grow, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode. And next week, we decided we want to discuss an updated current events on
what's happening in our lives and what's going on in the world, just so we could all be on the same page.
Yeah. So,
This was Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge, so remember to grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.
yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, I was recording the whole time.
Yes, so the video is
Yeah.
now.
So, thanks guys for joining us for another night in the Cigar Lounge.
Yeah.
I also want to say thank you to, I think we're up to 9 subscribers. So
9
thank you
subscribers.
to
We're so
all the
excited.
9 subscribers.
There are 9 people watching us, whether they're family, friends. Let's get more.
Yeah, so I real quick want to say thank you to the people who have subscribed to our channel so far.
And I want to say, if you do subscribe to us, we don't know. Like, there's some people we know by the name, like we know who you are, like Jeremiah, your sister. But there's some people that are like private.
Yeah.
If you do subscribe to us, let us know like who you are, if you're following
Yeah.
us, just so we could say thank you to you, because your name is private. If you want to keep it that way, though, that's fine. We're not telling you you have to.
Or if you'd like, I can supply you with like a personal email, because I would like to maybe email you like a little thank you letter, because any support that we can get and any subscribers we can get is awesome and amazing. You guys are great. So yes, 9 right now is like, some people would be like, it's 9, but for
Like
us,
pathetic.
that is very exciting. So I would love to be able to say thank you to the ones that I don't know who you are. Like he said, there's some people that I know who they are, but there are some people that when I go to the YouTube, it says that their account is private, so I can't see who is subscribed to me. So just let me know so we can say thank you. Like you said, if you don't want us to know,
send
that's
you a
fine.
sticker or something.
Yeah.
Like we said, we'll
Once
make
we
stuff
get the
up.
stickers or the t-shirts, we can send you something just to say thank you for watching our videos and thank you for supporting us along our journey. So go ahead and close it out.
This was another video cast of Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge, and always remember to grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.